The golden couple of Hollywood, Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban, are facing the toughest test of their relationship. For over a decade, they've been the epitome of love, loyalty, and quiet success. But behind the laughter and red carpet smiles, whispers have begun to swirl. Is paradise crumbling for one of music's most beloved duos? Before we dive deeper, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to HOLLYNEWS TV, and drop your thoughts below. Do you believe love can survive fame's relentless pressure? It all began subtly. Bruno and Jessica, who had always kept their romance out of the spotlight, suddenly started making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Reports surfaced that the two hadn't been seen together publicly for months. Paparazzi, who once captured their affectionate walks through Los Angeles, now found only Bruno, alone, deep in thought, and often without his signature smile. Sources close to the couple revealed that the cracks began showing earlier this year when Bruno's demanding tour schedule and studio commitments left little time for intimacy. He's been living out of a suitcase, one insider confessed. Jessica's been patient for years, but the distance has become too much. Pattern interrupt. Imagine a camera zooming in on Bruno's eyes during a live concert, singing, "When I Was Your Man." The emotion in his voice feels almost too real, almost like a confession. Fans in the audience noticed it too. Some even took to social media, speculating that the heartbreaking lyrics might be echoing his real-life struggles. Jessica, meanwhile, has been focusing on her own career and personal growth. Her social media presence has shifted from couple-centric posts to self-empowerment and solo ventures. Followers noticed the absence of Bruno's name, and the captions once filled with heart emojis now carry subtle undertones of independence and reflection. As the whispers grew louder, the tension reportedly reached a breaking point. Friends say that communication between the two became sporadic, and moments of misunderstanding started to snowball into arguments. They've always been private, but you can tell something's different, another source shared. Bruno loves her deeply, but love alone doesn't always fix what fame breaks. Teaser moment. What if the same passion that fueled Bruno's greatest hits is now fueling heartbreak? What if his next album isn't just another masterpiece, but a goodbye letter set to music? Stay with us, because what's coming next will make you question everything you thought you knew about their fairy tale love story. Rumors intensified. Some fans pointed to Bruno's recent interviews, where he subtly hinted at loneliness. During one appearance, when asked about his personal life, he smiled faintly and said, "Sometimes the brightest lights cast the deepest shadows." It was a poetic but haunting statement, leaving fans wondering whether he was hinting at emotional turmoil behind the curtain of fame. Jessica, on the other hand, has been spotted in New York, focusing on her fashion brand and spending more time with family. Her friends describe her as grounded but exhausted. She's reportedly been weighing her future, torn between holding on to a love she's built her life around and rediscovering herself outside of Bruno's shadow. Pattern shift. The tone slows, softer music fades in, showing old clips of Bruno and Jessica from happier days, laughing backstage, holding hands at the Grammys, dancing at home in candid moments. Those memories now feel bittersweet. In Hollywood, where relationships often dissolve under the spotlight, Bruno and Jessica's romance stood as a rare example of authenticity. They weren't flashy, they weren't constantly on red carpets, and yet they radiated warmth and stability. Fans rooted for them not because they were perfect, but because they seemed real. And that's what makes this unraveling so heartbreaking. Behind closed doors, sources say the couple has been attempting to rekindle their connection, taking breaks, attending therapy, and even planning small getaways. But the silence between them reportedly speaks louder than any argument. They've grown into different people, says a mutual friend. Bruno's chasing his next musical chapter, and Jessica's discovering who she is outside of that world. As this emotional storm unfolds, fans can't help but notice the parallels between Bruno's latest lyrics and his reality. Lines about letting go and missing what you can't replace seem almost too personal. Could this be his way of expressing pain that words alone can't carry? Midway through this heartbreak, speculation grew that Bruno's inner circle had advised him to focus on his career to avoid deeper emotional distractions. Meanwhile, Jessica's confidence encouraged her to embrace independence. It's a delicate push and pull, a love that refuses to die, yet can't find a way to breathe. In recent weeks, new reports have suggested that the couple is taking time apart. While no official statement has been released, insiders confirm that both are reflecting deeply on whether they can find their way back to each other or if this truly marks the end of an era. The climax comes not in scandal, but in silence. No cheating, no explosive drama. Just two souls slowly drifting apart under the weight of success and time. It's the kind of heartbreak that doesn't scream. It aches quietly in the spaces between their songs and memories. Fans around the world have taken to social media to express sadness and support. They gave us hope that true love still existed in Hollywood. One fan tweeted, "If they can't make it, who can?" Others hold on to faith, believing this may just be a temporary storm before the calm, a pause before the reunion. But one thing is certain, Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban have touched millions, not just through music or style, but through their humanity. Their story reminds us that even in paradise, love can face heartbreak. And sometimes, the bravest act of love is knowing when to let go. Today, as we close this chapter, take a moment to reflect. Can two people so intertwined ever truly separate? Or will the rhythm of their hearts eventually find harmony again? Don't forget to subscribe to HOLLYNEWS TV for the latest updates on Bruno Mars, Jessica Caban, and the stories that move Hollywood. Leave your thoughts below. Do you believe love deserves a second chance, even after the music fades? Because in the end, every great love story deserves its encore. As days turn into weeks, the world watches in quiet anticipation, hoping for a glimpse of reconciliation between Bruno Mars and Jessica Caban. Yet, the silence between them speaks volumes. Neither has issued a statement, neither has confirmed nor denied the rumors, and in Hollywood, that kind of quiet often says more than any press release ever could. Insiders reveal that Bruno has been channeling his emotions into music, retreating into the studio for long nights that stretch until dawn. His creative process, once vibrant and joyful, now carries a melancholy edge. Those close to him say his new material is raw and emotional, perhaps some of the most honest work of his career. "He's not just making music," one producer whispered, "he's bleeding it onto the microphone." Meanwhile, Jessica has taken a different path. Far from the lights and cameras, she's been reconnecting with her roots, spending time with family in Puerto Rico, and focusing on her fashion label. Her latest posts exude resilience, featuring soft tones and empowering captions like, "Healing isn't linear," and "Sometimes love means choosing yourself." Fans immediately read between the lines, interpreting these words as subtle confirmation of the emotional distance between her and Bruno. Pattern interrupt. The scene shifts to Bruno performing under dim lights, his voice echoing through the arena as fans sway to the rhythm of "Talking to the Moon." The crowd sings along, but his eyes look distant, as if he's searching for someone who isn't there. Cut to Jessica walking through New York streets in silence, wind brushing her hair, her face calm yet unreadable. The visuals collide. Two worlds, one love, slowly unraveling. It's hard to imagine Bruno Mars, the man who wrote "Just the Way You Are" and "Versace on the Floor," living through the kind of heartbreak his songs have always described. But maybe that's the irony of great artists. They often live the pain they sing about. Every lyric, every chord becomes a reflection of their soul. And now, it seems, Bruno's next album might tell the story of a love that couldn't survive fame's relentless current. Jessica, however, remains a pillar of grace. Those who know her say she's not angry, just heartbroken. She's reportedly been journaling, meditating, and surrounding herself with positive energy, trying to heal in peace. Jessica's always been as calm, a friend confided. But even the calmest waters can't stay still forever when the tide keeps pulling away. Rumors of jealousy or betrayal have been quickly shut down. This isn't a story of scandal, it's a story of timing. Two people with enormous hearts fighting to stay connected while the world demands more from them than love can give. Fame doesn't come with instruction manuals, and sometimes even the strongest couples lose their way amid the flashing cameras and constant scrutiny. Teaser moment. But what if there's still hope? What if this heartbreak is just a pause, not a permanent ending? Sources close to the pair hint that Bruno still keeps a photo of Jessica in his studio, tucked beside his keyboard. He can't bring himself to move it, one insider said softly. It's like a piece of her stays with him every time he writes. And for Jessica, her recent decision to wear a bracelet Bruno gave her years ago didn't go unnoticed by fans. Eagle-eyed followers flooded the comments, asking if the gesture was intentional, a silent message to the man who once called her his muse. The story takes another emotional turn when Bruno's band members reveal that he's been performing older love songs during rehearsals, songs he hadn't sung in years. You can feel it in his voice, one of them shared. It's like he's trying to find her in every note. In Hollywood, love stories often burn fast and fade quickly. But Bruno and Jessica's bond was different. It wasn't built on publicity or staged appearances. It was a love that grew quietly, away from the spotlight. That's what makes this heartbreak so hard to watch. They weren't just partners. They were best friends, dreamers who believed they could conquer the world together. The irony is heartbreaking. Bruno's music brought people together, but the very success that made him a legend might have driven a wedge between him and the woman who stood by him from the beginning. Fans can't help but wonder, if fame hadn't consumed so much of his life, would things have turned out differently? Climactic shift. Imagine Bruno walking off stage after a standing ovation, wiping his eyes as the lights dim. The crowd cheers, but the victory feels hollow. Somewhere miles away, Jessica sits in a quiet cafe, listening to his song on the radio. Neither speaks, yet the same melody connects them across the distance. The world feels their pain. Social media floods with messages. They were the real deal. True love shouldn't end like this, and maybe they'll find their way back. Fans have even started online petitions asking Bruno to dedicate his next song to Jessica, hoping for a sign that the story isn't over. I end truth. Perhaps it never will be. Some loves don't end. They just transform. They become memories, melodies, or echoes in the heart that never fade completely. Bruno and Jessica's story might not be written in wedding vows or red carpets, but in songs that the world will hum for decades. As the music fades, the final question lingers. Will they find their way back to each other when the spotlight dims? Or is this the last dance in their paradise? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, love this real doesn't disappear. It lingers, like a familiar tune that never stops playing in your soul. Don't forget to stay tuned to HOLLYNEWS TV for the latest updates on this heartbreaking yet hopeful story. Like, share, and tell us, do you believe Bruno and Jessica's love story deserves a second verse? Because in the rhythm of heartbreak, sometimes the sweetest songs are the ones born from goodbye.